Welcome back, friends. Right now, hopefully the tools that you're going to have in front of you are a needle that you would find in the back of the classroom that's quite dull. You probably need your scissors again, and then you're going to need some warp string. So warp string looks like this. It's a thicker cotton string that works really well for weaving and for bookbinding and all kinds of other things. Mrs. Samala uses warp string all the time. You can choose white or black if you wish to, or I think I even have a green in the back of the classroom, but I don't want this whole thing to get unraveled. So just be careful as you're working with it, okay? So what I do is I just stick my finger in here and I pull, and what I want you to pull out is a full arm's length. So if I take my arms and I spread it out like a bird, like flying, I get a full arm's length of this warp, and I think that should be enough to go through the book twice, a full arm's length. So that's taking one hand, stretching it all the way this way, and the other hand stretching it all the way this way, so I have a huge wingspan. And go ahead and cut it even a little bit longer if you need. I would much rather have you have more string than have less string. I'm going to try this with my skinny needle to begin with, and we'll see how it goes. So I have my book folded, and I think the best thing to do, I've learned this through the years, is to mark how many punches or holes you want to put in it, starting on your top page that you're actually punching through. So I'm going to go through this and mark out about every inch, so something that looks even. It's going to bind your book in a little bit neater fashion. It's going to look like an on purpose rather than a mistake if these are marked evenly spaced from each other. So I've got them all evenly spaced. Now what I'm going to have you do is just poke through the bag. Oh, and this one's really close to the edge, so I decided not to do that. I'm just going to poke this one instead. Poke, poke. It's actually kind of satisfying. These needles aren't sharp, but I don't want you to go through them, you know, and poke your finger. So I have my hand underneath the paper like this as I'm poking through. I don't have my hand like that. I'm being careful as not to have my hand be very close. Go ahead and poke through. That feels good. Now, I'm going to grab my second sheet because I have 4 sheets here. I'm going to grab my second sheet and line it up on the top and line it up on the bottom. Oh, and my second sheet is a little bit shorter, so I better adjust this and have it be exactly the way I want to, match it up very, very well. You could even, if you wanted to, I'm going to sneak over here and grab some blue tape. Hold on. Mrs. Samala has blue tape in the blue tape drawer, or you can use other tape, or you could use a paper clip, whatever works best for you. I'm going to actually connect these together because I don't want them to shift and move on me. That would be very annoying because I want it to match up really well. Blue tape is kind of a painter's tape, so when you put it down on something, it actually easily comes off. So I'm just going to do one of these things. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is poke through. Poke through the same hole that I just did. Poke, 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 poke. Make sure your hand stays away from there. My poke just went through and kind of poked my finger a little bit. It didn't hurt, but I want to be careful. I'm poke through again. Fantastic. Now I'm going to grab my third sheet, and I'll bet you'll guess, do the same thing. This time, because I'm doing a demonstration, I'm actually just going to rush through this, and I'll keep on poking. What happens though usually when you poke is the paper shifts underneath, so I'll let you know that I wouldn't recommend that. I don't want it to shift underneath, but for a demonstration doing this quickly, hopefully you'll be able to line it up well and have it not shift underneath you. Personally, I would have taped it, usually. I'm going to poke through here and here and here and keep on going until it's all poked through. And then hopefully in a moment you'll be able to find these holes a little bit better. Excellent. Now, I really don't want to move my last poke, so I'm going to just poke it here, and I don't want to move that one. So I'm going to leave my needle in there actually. Check this out. I'm going to get this warp string. You could do this with your mouth if you wanted to by wetting the string, but a lot of us have face masks on in class, so let me show you a little trick that a little sewer told me a long time ago. I can go like this, and I put a piece of tape on the end of there, right? Okay. Now I'm going to cut the tape really skinny without cutting the warp. And through the eye of the needle, I can just move that tape super easily. That's a smart way to go ahead and warp something. And then you can just cut off that extra tape. No one knows. That's an awesome trick. I love it. So I'm going to grab this right here, and I'm going to I am just going to leave it, I think, open actually this time. Yep. So what I have right now is a tail like this. So if you look, I'll have a short string and a long string. While I'm working, I want to hold on to the short string and the long string together, and I'll show you what happens. So I poke through, because I've already done that, right? Pull, 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 pull. Once I get to the end here, I'm going to actually tie these into a knot. And now I'm bound. That's awesome. Go like this. Tie it into a knot. And I've started to bind the book, and for sure, knowing me, things come undone. I'm going to tie that knot one more time. So I've tied that 3 times. I've got that knot. Sweet. There I go. Now, what I'm going to do is start lining up those little pokes that I made. So I'll probably go from page to page, hole, hole, hole. And the more pokes that I make through here, the more that I get them lined up. What's going to end up happening is the more aligned my book will be, and I won't have to do that anymore. So I pull it through, pull it through. Yep. Now look at this. Remember, I have a short string and a long string, and I'm holding on to both of them. That's how it works. Now I've got to get to the back side of this. And I'm going to poke through. I can poke and poke and poke through. I want to make sure that as I come up, I'm not wrapping anything around. Fun. There we go. I'll do it again, and my book is getting more and more aligned, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. So I'm going to go down, pull it through. This is satisfying once you get it. Find that hole. Oh, there's an announcement. Sorry, just ignore it. I'm going to go up, pull through, go down, pull through, and continue. Watch the next video so I can show you what's going to happen at the end. Well, actually, I'll keep on going. I guess we're still at 8 minutes. I'd like to make a video shorter, but there's going to be a key thing that comes up there. Oh, I just made an extra hole. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. This is a running stitch. I'm going up and down, not around my sketchbook, but up and down. This is my last poke before I do something kind of magical. Now what I'm going to do is go back down through the holes that I just did. And that's such the cool part. Let me get those scissors out of the way. So watch what happens. Pull it. Look at that. Now I have this super strong stitch going back and forth between the other stitches, and Mrs. Samuel, like I said, is flying as fast as she can because this is a demonstration, right? So I'm just trying to go as fast as I can. You can tell what's going to happen, but what I'm trying to do is get you to the end where you're going to see where the tie is. So give me just 1 more minute. Stick with me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Going down, going up. I can actually peek on the back. And then go up through that hole. Oh, I chose the wrong hole, but that'll be okay. Oh, I know, I bet I can't do that. So that's what happens when you make a mistake. You go walk it back out. Yeah, that was a happy accident. Here I go. Go through this one. Yep. And then come up like this. And then go back down. Awesome. When I get to the end then, what's going to happen is I have this tail already started. Hopefully I left my tail long enough, otherwise that would not be a happy accident, but then we just have to improvise. Boom. So I've got this tail left over from the last time that I tied. Awesome. Then I just tie it again. I take that string, the current string that I have. There we go. I'm going to tie it up into, for sure, at least 2 knots. 1, and then I'll do it twice. for sure 3 times is a better way to go, but I'm going to stop there for the demonstration. Give her a good clip. I would never tie that knot too short, for sure, because it can work its way out. And now what I have is the beginning of the book. And you can watch the next video for a little bit of decoration. Oh, remember those handles that I mentioned? That's kind of cool. I can hold on to it like a purse if I wanted to, or like a portfolio, I should say, not a purse. And I can take off these pieces of tape as well. Thanks for watching, friends. Stick with it. You're going to get it. You have to fight with the paper a little bit, but guess what? That's kind of life. Sometimes you start something and you realize, wow, I think I have to wrestle with this in order for it to really work. And that's a good thing about perseverance to learn through. I love sewing in paper. It looks awesome. Thanks, friends. We'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.